or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth.
All right, good morning, Ms. Geisler. Before we commence with examination by the state, I just have a few questions now that you've been placed under oath. This trial has been broadcast on a court YouTube channel and publicly available to view. Have you observed any of the trial testimony since the case began?
I have not.
Okay, have you discussed with anyone else the testimony they've been in the trial?
I have not.
Okay, thanks for your responses. Mr. Wixom, you can inquire on direct.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, will you please state your full name for the record?
Yep. Jennifer C. Geisler,
And will you please spell that?
JENNIFERCGEISLER.
Thank you. And where do you live?
I live in St. Anthony.
And where do you work?
I work at Central Elementary.
What is your job there?
I'm a first grade teacher. Yep, first grade.
How long have you worked at the elementary school?
It's been about 26 years.
I want to draw your attention back to the summer and fall of 2019. Do you remember working with Tammy Daybell?
I do.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury, well, first, did you have interactions with Tammy at work?
I did. She was our librarian.
Could you please explain to the jury how often or frequently you interacted with her and what capacity?
I would probably see her at least every day going back and forth in the hall. I took my class to library once a week, and so I'd stop and talk. Frequently, probably about 2 to 3 times a week, I ate lunch with her. Our first grade team eats lunch first, and we go into the lunchroom, our teacher workroom, and Tammy usually would come in and eat with us.
How would you describe your relationship with Tammy just overall?
Just friends. We were good friends.
And while working with her, what did you observe about her personality overall?
She was just super friendly, always bubbly, happy. She was a person that you would like to be around.
Was that the case in the late summer, early fall of 2019 before she passed?
Yeah. Yep.
And did you ever do anything or associate with Tammy outside of school?
I did.
What did you do?
So she came to, it was a high fitness class that we had up in St. Anthony, and twice a week, I had invited her and Emma to come up and give it a try. And they came up and joined us. It's about an hour twice a week at night. And so they came up and exercised with us.
Was she regularly attending the class after you invited her?
She did.
Did she come both classes each week?
Most often.
When she was in class with you, did you have any opportunity to observe how she was doing in class?
So most of the time I was up in the front row. Tammy and Emma are in the back row. So I didn't get to see them through every song, but some of the songs you turn around and you can see. They were always funny and giggly back there, and would sometimes add their own moves into the songs with them. And then at the end of the class, my sister and I go back and we kind of check everybody out. I punch her base cards. And so as they come through, I could talk to Tammy and Emma as they came through.
Did Tammy ever make any comments about how she was doing in class?
She loved it. She always thought it was just fun.
Did you observe how she was performing? Did she seem to be keeping up in the class?
Yeah, she did. Like when they come through, usually when you finish, you're pretty sweaty. And as she came through, she was as sweaty as everybody else.
Do you recall ever seeing any times where she had to take a break or got short of breath, anything like that?
Not that I recall.
When was the last time that you personally recall interacting with Tammy?
It was the Friday right before she died.
What was that interaction that you had with her?
I ate lunch across the table from her.
And What observations, if any, did you have of her health that day?
Just like a normal day. She was healthy, happy, talkative. She was sitting by her son, Seth. He was substituting that day. And just a normal day.
What was your reaction when you had learned that she passed?
I was super surprised
Why?
that she had passed
Why?
because she was just so healthy just the day before. And I was just talking to her.
And then last question, based upon what you observed, do you think you had enough opportunity to see Tammy in class and how her performance to have a fair assessment of how she was doing?
I do.
So had she fallen back or gotten tired, do you believe that you would have seen that?
Yeah.
How far away were you from her in the class typically?
I'm terrible at distance. I was like, she's probably 3 rows back. And it's just in their small little elementary gym.
Do you feel like you could see her well?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
All right. Cross-examination.
Good morning.
Good morning.
About what time did Tammy and Emma sign up for the Zumba class?
Mhm. I don't remember the exact day.
Okay. Do you remember talking to Officer Mattingly about that?
I do.
Okay. Would it surprise you to learn that you told Officer Mattingly that Tammy had been in the Zumba class for around 4 months?
Yes, I think I did.
About what you said?
That's about what I said.
Okay. You also told Officer Mattingly that you didn't know whether Tammy was doing the high workout or the low intensity workout. Remember telling him that as well?
I remember telling him I didn't get to see her with every song, but as I turned, you could look back that way.
Okay. And you were in the front row, right?
I am.
And Tammy was in the back row.
Yes.
So in order to see Tammy, you would have had to purposely turn around and observe her, right?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, Emma was at every single one of the classes with her mother, correct?
Yes. She would come with her mom.
Now, you first met Tammy when?
When she started teaching or was our librarian hired at our school.
2018?
If that's when, I can't remember when she was hired.
Okay. You mentioned that you guys were such good friends. You never went over to her house, though, did you?
No, just like school friends.
Oh, school friends. So you would just talk periodically during the day, right?
Right.
And teachers are busy. They have to take care of their students, correct?
Yep. We have our downtime at lunch.
Right. But the reality is that most of the downtime at lunch, it was Tammy and Emma who were spending their time together at almost every lunch. Do you recall that?
So Tammy would come in and sit with us to eat. Emma taught 3rd grade, and so her lunch was a little bit later in the day.
But they would spend time during the lunch hour together, right?
Possibly, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Judge, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Redirect?
May I have just a couple of questions?
Yes.
Thank you. Ma'am, just to be clear, are Zumba and high fitness class the same class?
So that's, I was checking because I had talked to him before about Zumba. When I had asked Chrissy just before, how long have we been doing high fit? And she had clarified that we've been doing it for 6 years. And so it was more high fit when Emma and Tammy started coming. High fit is more intense. You got lots of jumping jacks and burpees and tuck jumps, and it's a lot more physical workout than Zumba. Zumba's a little bit more dancey.
I think you just were asked some questions about eating lunch with Tammy. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity to observe what kinds of food she ate or how healthy her eating was?
Yes, because if I followed her through the lunch line, I always commented she took all the vegetables. I would usually follow through and skip the vegetables and take the cookies and stuff. And I had commented to her that she eats super healthy. I wish I ate as healthy as she did.
During that last several months before she passed, did you ever observe her to gain or lose any weight?
Judge, this is going beyond scope.
Is sustained.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Any recross?
If the court tells me where they're going to allow me to go on recross, I will.
Just on those very first comments about her testimony.
So I also must have misunderstood. So the high fitness is one class, correct?
Yes.
When did Tammy start doing the high fitness class?
So it was the same. I had just mentioned before when they had asked me that I had said it was Zumba. We had started out doing Zumba a long time ago, and then our teacher, Chrissy, has turned it into a high fit class.
Oh, so it was all the same
So it's
class.
all been high, not all the same. It went from Zumba, right? And then we stopped and then went into a high fit
Okay,
and had been doing that for a while before Tammy and Emma joined in.
so
So instead of Zumba, they were doing a high fit.
that was about 4 months of that, right?
Yes, and probably longer. I don't remember, recall exactly when they started.
So it could have been a little longer, could have been a little shorter.
Not shorter, but it could have been longer
Oh, how do you know that it wasn't shorter?
because I knew they were coming longer than 4 months.
Okay. Okay, Judge, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That concludes the testimony then of this witness. Is she permitted to be released from any subpoena?
From the
Yep.
defense, yes.
From the
Okay.
state as well, Your Honor.
All right, you're released from your subpoena. Thank you for appearing and you may be excused.